It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the movies of February 25th, 1994. Three movies to look at today. None of them really hold a lot of memorability to them, so we should get through this pretty quickly. So let's just jump right on into it. We'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, in quotation marks. Wesley Snipes in the crime thriller Sugar Hill. So for the longest time, I thought this was a vampire movie because, well, take a look at this poster here. Take a look at this poster I'm going to show you here. Doesn't that look like the poster for a movie that's set around killing vampires or something like that, or something supernatural? Like, I never looked at this and thought this is supposed to be in the same vein as something like New Jack City or Boys in the Hood, but yeah, sure enough, that's the case. And considering that this is supposedly part of a trilogy of films, the Harlem trilogy, as it says on Wikipedia, this is because of the writer of this, Barry Michael Cooper, who also wrote New Jack City, which is the best of these three films, because you have this, you have New Jack City before that, and then after this you have Above the Rim, which also came out in 1994, and obviously New Jack City was the best of these three films, as this one is, it's not very good. Like, despite a really good cast they have in here, you get people like Wesley Snipes, Candy Alexander, Clarence Williams III, Ava Goda, Dule Hill, Teresa Randall, Donald Faison's in there, you see him in there, Ernie Hudson, Vondi Curtis Hall. A good cast overall here, but just not a very good execution in terms of this trying to be the next installment of this series. It's supposed to be the same vein of something like New Jack City, which really you don't really get to see a whole lot of in this. Like, it really doesn't... I mean, everyone here is clearly trying, but there's just nothing really there that makes it instantly memorable or something like that. Like, it's trying way too hard to be the next New Jack City, but New Jack City had its own unique feel to it, and at least it understood that it needed to tell a significant story. It's also a movie that tries way too hard to hammer the message in, what it's trying to say about the way that things happen in this city, and honestly, it just doesn't work. It doesn't have that same memorability that something like New Jack City does, or Boys in the Hood, or much better Hood films that are much better than this. It's just a forgettable movie on so many levels. So anyway, that's Sugar Hill. So let's move on to the next movie, and that is Luke Perry starring in 8 Seconds from the director of Rocky and the Karate Kid. Yeah, Rocky and the Karate Kid, this is not. This is definitely a movie that was trying to be that way for rodeo riding, bull riding, but it just didn't work. It just wasn't really all that exciting. I mean, I'll give it credit, though. Luke Perry, I think, does fine in this movie, as does Stephen Baldwin, but the rest of the movie is just kind of mediocre. I guess you really have to be into bull riding and rodeos and all that to really appreciate this movie, which I'm not that type of person that really gets into that kind of stuff, but I know a lot of people do, and this movie does have somewhat of a following to it. It just didn't really cut it for me. I really did try to go into it with an open mind and try to appreciate it for what it is, but like I said, it just doesn't have that same type of feel that the Karate Kid and Rocky did. And to me, I thought the movie faltered because of that. I know it has a following, I know it has a loyal fan base to it, but I'm not particularly in that group, so I really didn't enjoy this one. So anyway, that's 8 Seconds, so let's move on to the last movie that we have here, which is Silent Tongue. Yeah, definitely not the movie you want to go out on with a career like what River Phoenix had. Basically, this movie came out 3 months after the death of River Phoenix, and it was sitting on a shelf for 2 years, so that should pretty much give you an indication of how much the studio really believed in this. They just put this out there because River Phoenix had just passed away 3 months ago, and they thought, you know what, we're going to put this out there. Who knows? We might have a big hit on our hands. And, yeah, needless to say, they really did not. Yeah, this is not a very good movie. This is a really, really bad movie. And for Sam Shepard, this is probably his worst film. Despite the cast he has involved in this, Richard Harris, Dermot Mulroney, Bill Irwin's also in here, River Phoenix, like I said, it's just a mess of a film on so many levels. It's just like, it's a very uncomfortable looking movie. It's like, it doesn't really know what it wants to do, and the last hour and a half hour of this movie just slows down considerably. It's just like, come on, move along already. Like, like, I just don't get it. I don't get what they were seeing in this movie, and you can pretty much see why they shelved it. And it took 2 years. It took somebody to die before they actually said, "Let's put it out there so we can make a quick buck." And luckily, nobody went to go see it because it came in one of the box office. People forgot about it, and they remember the good stuff that River Phoenix was in, and not this crap. This is one of the worst movies of the year, easily. So, pretty much all I got to say about that one. So, Silent Tone. And with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. Next time around, we'll jump into the first weekend of March with the ensemble comedy Greedy. We also have Charlie Sheen and Christy Swanson in The Chase, Gina Davis and Angie. We also have China Moon, and we also have Siren. So 5 movies to look at, and we'll delve into those in the next episode. But until then, thank you very much for watching. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. And until then, take care.